The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of salt. So get ready, nerds, because we're talking The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 6.
Finale.
The finale is here. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Salty Nerd Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds, starting with Tom. Welcome back.
I appreciate being fantastic.
Also, Jude. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
You ready?
Finally, the finale.
You're so excited about this.
This is my favorite day.
Where are your glasses?
Oh, they're right here.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm looking at a different Jude. Hey, Jude's
Am
back,
I
everybody.
Nerdy? Am I nerdy enough now?
There you go.
It makes
Thanks.
sense now.
It's like Clark Kent.
Yeah.
You can't recognize
shit.
it.
I was wondering, Jude, for just a moment.
Just yell for us. We got one. Can you yell? We got one real quick, just to get this thing going.
We got one. Ghostbusters.
And last but not least, Matthew Kadish.
I am so glad this series is over. You have no idea. Not only did I not like this series, but I had to write the synopses for these podcasts. So that was a real pain in the ass.
And then you had to edit the video for this podcast.
She had to actually watch the show like 4 times.
Yeah.
How many deep breaths did you take? Like,
I think I stopped breathing at one point.
All right, guys. Before we dive into it, we're going to take a quick break to listen to some sponsors. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you'd like to support the podcast, go to saltynerdclub.com, join our Patreon team. There you can get access to exclusive chats and podcasts and blooper reels that are hilarious, and you get to chat with our other patrons, a lot of really awesome people there. Thank you all for supporting us, saltynerdclub.com. We would really appreciate it. Any money that goes to us goes right back into the podcast so we can make more content for you. All right, let's dive into it. Kadish, take it away, sir.
All right. Falcon and Winter Soldier, Season 1, Episode 6, the finale, entitled One World, One People. So the episode begins with Carly mustering her troops for the move against the GRC, and Sam is flying into New York City, all the way from
Louisiana.
New Orleans. So I did some math on this, and New Orleans is 1,182 miles from New York, and on a direct flight, it takes 3 hours to go from here to there.
Not if you have Wakandan technology.
yeah,
though.
Wakandan tech.
Yeah, nothing to cover your face except some goggles as you're flying, like,
Chapstick.
for like 3 hours.
I'm calling tech.
Yeah. Iron Man.
Tech.
Iron Man flew from like California to...
He had a helmet.
That's true.
But wouldn't
He had actual tech.
wouldn't that small jetpack be out of fuel by the time he got to New York?
What fuel?
It's Wakanda.
What does it run on? We don't even know.
Vibranium.
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 Yeah.
It's got a vibranium reactor. Right?
Yeah, it's just a little miniature
Why not?
nuclear vibranium
Yeah.
reactor.
Why not?
Why not?
I don't know what
Comic
vibranium
book.
is. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
No one does.
No, what
Yeah.
he did was
So
he
the
boarded...
principles are endless.
He went on
Yes.
Southwest, booked a flight, flew there with his giant briefcase of Superman suit.
They made him pay for the flight. Too,
Made
I'm
him pay
sure.
for it, of
I'm
course.
sure.
It was way over 50 pounds. So it was like $85 just for the package.
Oh, thank you for your service.
and Falcon's broke, so he couldn't
Right?
afford.
Broke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, nobody knew he was an Avenger.
Wait, wasn't he retired military to begin with? Doesn't he have a pension?
You would think so, but apparently in
Like,
this
how
world,
old is he?
He's in his like what 30s?
30s, I'd
Well,
say.
I think they spent his pension when he got blipped.
On the boat? Trying to fix the boat?
Trying to fix the boat. They had a string of bad mechanics.
Okay. What happens in this episode? He shows
All
up
right,
in New York.
So Sam flies into New York City. Sharon Carter and Bucky arrive at the GRC vote. Sharon has some next level disguise tech, and she also happens to be on the same comms channel that Sam and Bucky are on. So she's been listening in on them the whole time.
So the mask thing, that was from Scarlett Johansson's character, Black Widow. Remember in was it The Winter Soldier?
That was, I believe, from Mission Impossible.
No,
Tom Cruise.
No, she disguised herself as one of the senators,
Is this Total Recall you're talking
and she
about?
was going up against Robert Redford.
That is correct.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and she
that-
took
that
off the
Winter
like the
Soldier.
silk
Yep.
face mask thing.
She
It was
had
like
the wig and
yeah.
Like you couldn't tell that wasn't Scarlett Johansson's body and not the body
Some
of a
old lady.
75-year-old senator. Like,
It goes all the way down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hologram.
like this is
We have established that holograms exist in this universe, so I was kind of like, okay, that's just a callback to that last movie.
But it would have been nice if like
She had that the first day.
Or like they had bothered to set it up.
She got a bag of tricks. What? She's a rogue secret agent.
She's the power
but
broker.
She has a bag, and she like Mary Poppins style pulls out different things for the right occasion.
If she had that tech,
The Deus Ex
why
Machina
did
bag.
she have to hide out in what was it, Mesopotamia, or what was it called?
Mesopotamia.
Oh,
Moab.
Tortuga. It's Tortuga.
But what was it called?
I don't remember.
Was it Tortuga?
Moapa?
No,
Moapa.
Madrigar or
Madripoor. Yeah.
Something like
Why'd
that.
she have to hide there and not show her face? Bitch, you got that tech. You
don't
could go
know.
wherever you want. You could go to the mall.
Yeah. Maybe she did. Maybe she went to the mall as a 75-year-old woman.
Spent a lot
Maybe
of
she
time
did.
talking about how angry she is that she has to hide in wherever this is, and then all of a sudden in the last episode she just walks up and is like, "Oh,
She's
let
in
me-
New York
let
all
me-
of a sudden.
Let me take this bullshit off. It's me, you guys."
Well,
She could have been there the whole time.
She could have.
like in a normal like writing scenario, the fact that she shows up in that disguise would pay off later in the episode, because like be like, oh look, Carly's over there. It's like, oh, that's not Carly, that's Sharon with her next level disguise tag. Nope. It was the only time they used it.
That's a good point. Like a waste of an awesome
Yes.
prop idea. Yeah.
Yes. Please continue, Katie.
And that's one of the biggest problems I've had with this show is they don't understand basic setup and payoff.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
You know what was a great setup and payoff? Is U.S. Agent's shield in this episode.
Boy.
Wow.
Thank you.
We'll get there in a second.
Yeah,
Let's just recycle this.
We'll get there. Okay, so
Hey, can I complain about the Captain America uniform? I mean,
From
Hold-
Falcon? We'll get there.
yeah, hold on.
oh, we're not there yet. Okay,
Not there.
okay.
All right, so Carly sees Sam flying in and orders the attack. Carly's agents try to force the GRC members out of the building so the Flag Smashers can kidnap them. And Sam makes his heroic entrance as the new Captain America, suit and all.
Okay. So, Tom, what's your complaint about the suit?
Black Panther's suit was awesome, and it also came from Wakanda. His suit looks stupid, and I don't think it's bulletproof.
It's comic book accurate.
I know, but it could have been a vibranium suit, just like Black Panthers. They could have just given him a Black Panther suit.
Oh, that would have been dope.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. Then he would have had way cool powers and bulletproof and all kinds of cool things. Instead, they give him like cargo shorts
Well, this,
and really big shoulder pads.
the suit was a favor for Bucky, so they gave him like the bargain basement.
Oh, you think that's what it was?
Yeah.
You think that's what it was? Like,
Because remember,
like grandma had some scraps left over.
yeah, T'Challa's a prince or a king.
He's a king.
Yeah, so like he gets the good stuff.
That's true.
Bucky got the sweet arm.
Yeah, but it has a
He's the white
default
wolf.
button on it that just deactivates
I
it.
put that in there too.
Yeah.
None of us really trust that guy.
No, but I'm just okay. So it's comic book
I
accurate.
think
This
Captain
is-
America actually paid for that arm.
Oh,
You
that
think
could-
so?
That could be possible.
I do, because remember, like Captain America was hiding out in Wakanda for a while, and so like in exchange for helping them out, they hooked them up with some tech and stuff.
Okay. Anyway, I didn't mind the suit. The only thing that really kind of like I understand that they want to go comic book accurate, and I'm okay with that. I actually prefer that most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't like it when they make changes just because they don't think it'll work on screen. But there's only one part of this suit that I don't think works on screen, and it's the fact that he has his skull completely exposed.
Yeah.
He's not superhuman. He's just a normal dude. Put a helmet on, bro.
Yeah, he needs a helmet.
He needs a helmet.
But that's what he sold us. He says, I'm not a super soldier.
I know.
I'm just the guy willing to do the job.
Yeah,
And-
but he's gonna get hit
He
in the
doesn't,
head.
sell that until the very end.
He's
but-
gonna get hit in the head with a rock
Or George St. Pierre.
or George St. Pierre.
which quietly is my favorite part of the show, is that they brought him back into it, who was like an enemy of Captain America.
Yeah.
He gets away like a villain's supposed to in the comic books, and he comes back in this one, and you're like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
And he could just keep popping back in, and I would love it. Which is maybe.
It's very possible.
Maybe, right? And I would like to see more reoccurring stuff like that. Loki's awesome because he doesn't die.
Yeah.
And he just keeps showing up and screwing things up, and you're like, Loki.
Yeah. George St. Pierre showing up in like every movie just
Yeah.
to throw a wrench in things.
Yeah, like a missile hits something and it pans over and it's just George St. Pierre like, shit, I missed again. And he runs away.
I'm down.
I would love that.
I'm
Yeah,
down.
it would be hilarious and awesome.
Yeah.
Every time.
I agree. I do think that's one of the things that they actually did is set up and payoff. Is
Yeah.
he's been a recurring character throughout this entire series. Is having that one antagonist to
Yeah,
Falcon.
the writers were like, "We'll give you one.
We'll give
and
you
this
one
is it."
thing.
And it's from Winter Soldier, which
Yeah.
is
It's even
you know,
better.
Falcon's first thing, Winter Soldier's first thing, George St. Pierre's first thing. Fun.
Yeah. Again, the compliments to the show on the graphics and the action scenes are all on point.
I do like this episode though. So
Really?
I know I'm bumming you all out. Like I enjoyed it from start to finish.
Wow.
I thought it was very redeeming.
I don't even know who you are.
I know. I'm sorry. I was with you guys the whole way through. I was like, boo. And I saw this one. I was like,
It's not that
I
bad.
like the way they wrapped up that package.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They polished that turd up pretty good.
Okay, we'll
You know.
get to the meat of the episode.
Sprinkled some glitter over that turd.
Yeah. Or ate glitter the whole time. And then when it came out, it was glittery. And you just didn't know. Like, oh, the payoff. It's there.
Yeah.
Wow, what an analogy.
That's a payoff.
All right,
continue.
Kadish, continue.
It's a spoonful of glitter.
Makes
All right.
the medicine go down.
So Sam figures out Carly's plan to get the GRC members outside and orders security to keep the GRC members inside, which security immediately ignores as they evacuate the bureaucrats as Sam starts fighting Batroc, who has a score to settle with Sam. So like
This was just a clusterfuck.
this was one of the dumb parts of this movie where Sam specifically tells the head of security, who was the same guy who's like, I thought Captain America was on the moon. Like he says, like, they're trying to get them outside the building to kidnap them, keep them inside the building. Guys, like, roger that, get everyone outside the building. And I'm just like, seriously? Oh my God.
So I will say
It's
this:
definitely not a trap.
the whole sequence of events that takes place where they're trying to kidnap the senators and stuff, like, I felt like it was a complete mess. I didn't really know where everybody was.
Yeah, I was.
I didn't know what the sequence of events was happening. Like, Bucky was in the lobby for a while, and then all of a sudden he was outside fighting somebody next to a truck.
Yeah.
Falcon was in like the 14th floor somewhere fighting George St. Pierre, and then all of a sudden he's somewhere else. It was very much like cut smash to like one thing after another. I was kind of lost a little bit in the action. Not to say that the action itself was bad,
Yeah.
but just the editing felt a little choppy to me.
So here's the next scene is that as Sam's fighting Batroc, Sharon and Bucky come into the building, and Sam's on a direct comm link with them, right? And he says, do not let the GRC members out of the building. It's a trap. They're trying to kidnap them. They're trying to drive them out of the building so that they can, take them hostage. And Bucky sees one of the flag smashers, a super soldier disguised as one of the soldiers. And he's like, Sharon, you handle him. I'm going to go deal with this evacuation. So like, instead of him taking on like the super soldier,
The other super soldier.
yeah, because he's a super soldier.
Uh-huh.
He's like, hey, 90-pound woman, why don't you go handle that guy for me?
She's got tech, babe.
Yeah, she's got tech.
Yeah.
She's good. She's
Yeah, she handled it.
a shield agent.
Yeah,
But-
and a bad guy, and I don't know what else she is anymore.
But
Related to
so
Captain
like,
America.
so like as Sharon watches the GRC members evacuated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like she's basically following them, not doing anything. She's just like letting them be evacuated. Bucky gets a phone call from Carly. Like he's walking to try to stop the evacuation. And
Also
there's this lady who's just like, oh, this is
It's
for
for
you.
you.
Yeah. And Bucky's like, hello. And,
No, I
and
like that the operatives
just-
could be anywhere.
Let me just stop what I'm doing
Yeah.
and take a call from this
Yeah, and
terrorist.
so
Because we're such good friends.
She was a terrorist.
yeah. So Carly
It's all part of the network.
Carly
man.
was on the other end of the phone, and she's trying to convince Bucky not to interfere. And Bucky's trying to reach out to her, and he's trying to warn Carly that her cause doesn't justify the violence, and she's going to remember all the people that she killed. And Carly basically tells him to screw off, and then Bucky realizes that she was just distracting him while they kidnapped the GRC members. Yeah,
Genius.
yeah,
top brains
Yeah.
of the world
yeah. The world's
are
top,
fighting this battle.
the world's former top assassin gets distracted by a phone call.
Thank God we gave all the smart people super strength.
It was a bit silly,
Yeah.
to
Well,
say the least.
If Zemo was still there, he would have sniffed this out.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
he would have sniffed this
Right?
out.
Yeah. And he would have just like, I think it's better if we just let it happen.
Let them fight.
Let them fight.
Well, they kind of did let it like the whole point Sam was trying to make was he was like, stop this from happening.
Uh-huh. And they were like, let's all just watch.
Yeah, the two people that he like was relying on to stop it from happening were just like, no.
Bro, we couldn't do anything. They just,
I got a phone call. I got distracted.
like
Let's get to the U.S. agent, because
they
I
had
really,
a van.
I really
What was I
can't.
supposed to do?
I really can't wait to talk about his entrance to
All right,
this.
so the GRC members are loaded into armored transport vehicles, which the undercover flag smasher soldier seals them into using some special high-tech lock, which I have no idea where he got that thing from. Wakanda, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Stole it from somebody.
I mean,
Evil Wakanda?
what is Wakanda doing? Are they just like mass producing all of this shit?
They're getting, things are getting ripped off.
In theory, okay, so the end of...
You can't even fly in there without them being okay with it.
At the end of Black Panther, they opened up Wakanda to the world. So their tech is everywhere at this point.
He's right.
Yeah. They said
And also you got...
Yeah, but is there like a big market for like super high tech locks for the backs of trucks?
Armored vehicle locks.
Yeah. So anyway, Bucky,
I don't know, man. I've been on Wish.com. Apparently, there's a market for just about anything.
The lock is stronger than the actual door that you're trying to lock.
If the price is right, you will buy it.
All right, so Sharon watches the super soldier do this, lock the people in the armored transports and lets the transports leave. Bucky hops on a bike to go after the GRC members and telling Sharon to just deal with the super soldier again. So Sharon plants a mercury vapor bomb on the Flag Smasher and straight up murders him by melting his skin and lungs.
Yes.
Yeah. She could have just shot him in the back of the head.
No.
No.
Let's go full Indiana Jones and just melt the face.
I mean, she wasn't going to fist fight him. What did you want her to do?
That's exactly what I wanted her to do.
Could she have done that before he locked them in the armored transports?
Oh, no, that wouldn't make sense for the story.
Hindsight is 20/20, Matt. You can't look at things in the past and worry about the future. You know what I mean?
In the words of the great scholars, my bad.
I mean, come on.
Come on.
I mean, come on.
If we had gotten the reveal that she was the power broker earlier,
we knew the whole time,
and she was working at cross purposes, and this is why she was letting this stuff play out, then I could understand this. But as it stands right now, she was just being stupid. So like this is one of my
she's
problems.
a woman and she has blonde hair, so
but
it should be believable.
She did make out with Captain Rogers,
her uncle.
Wait, no, it's her stepdad. Wait, her
uncle.
dad?
Because her aunt was Becky.
Her uncle.
Or, was it Becky?
No. Peggy.
Yeah.
What kind of Becky?
That's her.
Becky was the blonde chick.
Yeah, but
I'm just joking.
Sharon Carter was who?
I thought Peggy was her grandmother.
Was it grandmother?
Yeah,
I think that's right.
So
I think that is right.
Steve Rogers is her grandfather?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
So maybe she's juiced up with some superhero.
Step great granddaddy.
Yeah.
If the internet's taught me anything, anything goes.
I don't know, because he did go back in time and live a full life.
Yeah.
So
we don't know when he got back together with her.
They're
we don't
totally
know.
related.
The time travel's a mess. Let's not get into that. We could literally whiteboard this for a month and not really know.
So Walker shows up, right?
Yeah, he shows up.
No.
Oh,
Okay,
come on, man. I can't wait.
So more GRC members are evacuated
great episode.
into a helicopter that is being flown by a Flag Smasher.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Sam stops fighting Batroc to try to stop the helicopter from taking off. And Sam chases the helicopter, but the Flag Smasher flying it is the best helicopter pilot ever and shoots at Sam, keeping him away while doing a nosedive and pulling up at the last minute and basically outmaneuvering this guy with a jetpack.
And then my favorite part is Senator in the back seat is also the best helicopter pilot in the world.
Well, we're going to get there in a second. So Sam orders Red Wing to scan the helicopter to see if any of the hostages have flight training. And luckily, one of the GRC bureaucrats actually does. And I was sitting
What
there,
are the odds?
Yeah, I was sitting there wondering, what if there was no one on there?
1 in 4, apparently.
like the one GRC member who happens to have been in the military and knows how to fly got on that helicopter.
Yeah. Knows how to fly that helicopter.
Yeah.
I don't think they're all the same.
This helicopter is more like a drone.
Not just knows how to fly it.
Yeah.
Literally, Sam knocks the pilot out of the seat and then says, okay.
In a free fall.
And he goes, okay, take the
She's just
stick.
like,
You
no
got this?
problem.
You got
I'm
this,
gonna
right?
take my seatbelt off. I'm going to climb up
Fist
front.
bump, bro.
I'm going to put my
bro. You got this.
seatbelt on. I'm going to fly this thing.
It's in a complete nosedive free fall. It's falling down into the water, and she just jumps in the pilot seat and just, I'm good.
She's like, don't worry, guys.
I got this.
I have flight training.
Well, remember like when this helicopter first takes off and he sees Sam's coming down, so he just like goes like 90 degrees down
That's what
in
I
a
said. It's like a
helicopter
drone.
and like pulls up like it's a freaking fighter jet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tech. Babe,
Yeah.
tech.
Was it a Wakandan helicopter?
I genuinely don't even understand how helicopters work.
Shouldn't everything come from Wakanda at this point?
I think
I'm
it
pretty
does.
sure that that's the moral of this fucking show.
I
is
mean-
that shit from Wakanda is the best.
Rocks.
We all know that Captain America's shield doesn't adhere to the laws of physics.
Correct.
So
Yes.
did the same people who made the shield make that helicopter?
It's made of vibranium. Nothing matters.
I don't care about the helicopter. What made me laugh was the fact that this chick in the back seat was just like, "Oh yeah, I got this," and like pulls them
Yeah,
out of
what
a
about it?
free fall.
Yeah.
And
She's been waiting her whole life for this moment.
He like walkie-talkied her. And he's
No,
like,
he called
hey.
her up on her
No,
cell
he
phone.
texted her, and then she put her earbuds in.
What's up, girl?
And
You
he's
up?
like, hey man, some shit's about to go down. You got this? And she's like, no fucking problem, man.
Would have been funny if Red Wing actually sent her some dick pics.
Yeah. New phone, who dis?
Some random number.
New phone. Who does?
Yo, boy, you real thirsty.
So ridiculous.
Like, goddamn it, Red Wing. Is that a 15-year-old adolescent teenager?
I have needs too.
Just got done with baseball practice.
It's amazing.
All right, so
Okay.
back on the ground, Carly's group seems to be getting cold feet about their plan. Carly says that worst case scenario, they'll kill all the hostages. When
No
her
big
group,
deal.
when her group objects, she tells them that no matter what, their message gets out to the world.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they die, and the movement is strong enough to continue without them. Guys, can you tell me what their message was?
Unity, world
one
unity.
world.
One people, one world.
One people, one world.
Also,
Kill everybody.
Feels like this was the first time she had mentioned to her group, you know what? We're probably not going to survive this.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, whoa.
What? That's not what I signed up for.
Yeah, that's,
like,
that's
I
a good
really
point.
dig the message, but
Not that much.
I'm down to be a super soldier. I don't want to die.
I got family. My cousin's wedding is next Thursday. I kind of got to be there.
Well, they were bringing up some legit objections where it's like we were going to use those hostages to get our
Bargain.
demands met,
Yeah.
to bargain, and she's like, no, we'll
Fuck
just kill them. Yeah.
We're gonna kill them all. She just went full supervillain. But
she says, plan for the expect the best, plan for the worst.
but
She had a plan.
although she's ready and willing to kill everybody,
Yeah.
her message is, one people, one world, not a terrorist, according to the show.
No,
No.
the bad guy never thinks they're bad. That's the point of the bad guy.
Yeah, I know the bad guy doesn't think they're bad,
Ever.
but neither does the good guy, apparently.
One world, one people, except for these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for those.
Fuck them.
Except for the
Like,
white senators.
you guys are cool. Not these guys.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool.
You see, it all comes back. Tell me Half Baked was a terrible movie. We've been quoting it all week.
I know. I feel so bad.
Yeah.
All right, Kadish, what happens next? Tell
All
me
right.
Walker shows up.
Okay, so Sam is still chasing the helicopter. It crosses with an NYPD helicopter that goes spinning out of control toward a bridge. Sam and Red Wing pull the pilots from the helicopter. Then Sam uses his wings and his shield to tank a hit from the crashing helicopter, bouncing it off the bridge and into the water. And then Sam takes off again to chase down the helicopter with the hostages. Like,
This seems legit.
yeah, like when I saw
Wait,
like the
Before
helicopter.
you say anything else, have you watched the rest of the show up to this point?
Yes, of course.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
why
It
not?
bounces like a bouncy ball.
Yeah, like the helicopter hits the shield and goes bing, and like ricochets like a bullet instead of like.
Yeah, but it's vibranium.
Tech.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tech. Wakandan
Well,
tech.
well, no, the shield is, but the helicopter wouldn't have just bounced off of that thing. It would have crashed into it.
Act like you understand the physics of vibranium.
The helicopter wasn't vibrating.
Spider-Man.
No, but
Wait.
the wings are.
We
Yeah.
have decided it's unclear whether that,
That is true.
helicopter is made out of vibranium.
It might not be Stark Tech.
I'm
It
not-
might be Wakanda Tech.
I'm not saying that like Sam wouldn't have been able to have tanked that hit. I'm saying that the helicopter would not have just bounced off of it.
Like a bouncy ball.
I'm
Yeah,
rubber,
yeah.
you're glue.
It would have literally crashed
Yeah.
into it.
Around him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It would have the metal of the helicopter would have buckled because of the velocity of the helicopter.
Okay,
I-
but his wing tech created a bounce effect for helicopters specifically.
There's a vortex.
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 The wings braced the shield, which
prevented
his
we got
bones
it.
from being
She's
broken.
messing with you, Katie. She's messing with you. She doesn't actually believe what she's saying. Read the room.
How do you know?
How do any of us know anything?
All right, what happens
None
next?
of this is real.
All right, so Carly and the gang set up a roadblock to take control of the armored vehicles carrying the GRC members. Before they can take off with the hostages, Bucky shows up and starts fighting the Flag Smashers. Carly sets one of the transports on fire to distract Bucky so that he has someone to rescue instead of fighting them. And as Bucky tries to save the hostages, John Walker shows up with his new homemade shield to get revenge for Battlestar.
And it gets dented in the first 5
Dear
seconds.
me, you
So
sweet summer
hilarious.
child.
He walks in with that thing like he's gonna do something, and
Dude.
immediately gets his ass kicked.
That thing looked like a can opener.
It just,
He whooped all kinds of
it
ass.
just buckled the shield.
Oh, well, that's also true.
Oh, it was so
and like
funny.
the different colors just
Yeah, just separated.
popped apart.
Like, your welds
now,
are shit.
Now it's a hula hoop.
I mean, you saw him make it.
I
It
know.
wasn't exactly a top-notch job.
Oh, it was fantastic. I
Like
was
he-
so happy.
So he had YouTube going on in the background, like how to weld a Captain America
How to make
shield.
your own
West-
shield.
Yeah, how to make your own Captain America shield.
Went to Harbor Freight,
Yeah.
bought the welder for like
Yeah.
$100.
The
I
Harbor
mean-
Freight one, not
Yeah, the Harbor Freight welder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a glue gun. Let's do it.
Is it from Harbor Freight? Because it's really good the first time you use it.
It's Wakandan tech glue gun.
Oh. That's just the answer for everything now.
Made with vibranium glue.
Like freaking Wakanda. That's why.
So I will say,
because Wakanda.
The Manjumandaro or
They're
whatever.
forever.
you guys good?
No,
So-
I think we can keep shoehorning Wakanda tech into every conversation just going forward forever.
I do have to give this show credit because when we watched that scene for the first time last week, and we were like, no way did he just make his own shield. And I'm glad that they didn't go the route of like his shield is now just as strong.
No, it wasn't.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God they didn't do that. Like they stayed true.
Okay, well, how about the scene where Falcon's fighting Batroc, which is GSP, and he throws the shield at him, and GSP just kicks the shield, and he goes, "Oh shit!"
Well, he's not superhuman.
Yeah, but that was a great scene to show that, like, okay, if you don't see that shield coming, it's gonna jack you up.
Yeah.
But if you have any kind of
If
wherewithal,
you're George St. Pierre.
if you're George St. Pierre, you can kick that thing out of the air.
Yeah.
And then you make Falcon look stupid.
Yeah.
It was really funny. I was like, oh yeah, okay, all right. It's a good episode.
Okay.
All right, so while Walker fights the Flag Smashers, Bucky breaks the super lock on the transport and frees the hostages. Bucky then teams up with Walker to fight the Flag Smashers, but he gets kicked down into a construction site where he's followed by one of the Flag Smashers and the fight continues. Falcon makes the contact with the GRC pilot lady in the helicopter by calling her cell phone. And Sam takes out the Flag Smasher pilot as the GRC lady takes the helicopter's controls. Sam drops the Flag Smasher pilot into the Hudson River while the GRC lady flies the helicopter to safety.
Okay, so we kind of glazed over a second here. Bucky teams up with the murderous Captain America that was the bad guy 1 episode ago.
Sure.
Just casually like, hey, bro, welcome back.
Well, I mean, Winter Soldier's killed like 1,000 people. So if anyone knows anything about forgiveness
And redemption.
and redemption,
So he's cool with them then.
it is a guy who calls himself Bucky.
He's like, it's like, as long as you don't have Cap's shield,
Yeah.
we're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the
Get your own shield.
It was
I did.
disrespectful.
Well, the interesting part about that scene when Walker shows up is Carly says to him, like, I didn't mean to kill your friend. I don't want to hurt people who don't matter. And Walker's like, are you saying Lamar's life didn't matter?
Yeah, very heavy-handed.
A little bit. A little bit.
That was, we're all dead silent on that one. Guys, all the shit to talk.
Oh no, I like it. No, I'm gonna say it again. This is a very redeeming episode. I thought they set up a lot of really weird tropes for the last 5 episodes, and I want to blame the late change of the story for that. This one I feel like was probably basically the original ending, which is why this episode makes sense. The rest of it does not. But this episode I really like. I thought they
This episode makes sense.
not like physics wise.
The one lady in the helicopter who can fly it.
Yeah.
Sam knows her phone number.
No.
Text
Wakanda Tech.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what happens next, Kadish?
All right. So John Walker uses his busted ass shield to fight Carly and the Flag Smashers. Carly knocks Walker out and starts to drive away with the hostages, and then she hops out of the transport and tries to send it over the cliff to the construction site where Bucky is fighting the Flag Smasher who followed him down. But luckily, the armored transport hits some construction beams and doesn't fall. Instead, it teeters precariously on the construction frame. Walker recovers and chooses to save the people on the transport instead of taking out Carly, thus redeeming himself. But before Walker can pull the truck back from the ledge, the Flag Smashers all attack him, and then they all fall to the ground below as the truck is getting ready to fall. Sam appears and lifts the truck back up to safety with the help of some mini drones, his jetpack, and his non-existent super strength.
Okay. Major issues with this scene.
Love it.
Major issues.
Love it. Heroic to the T.
It's very heroic.
Yes.
But Sam cannot physically do this.
That's a 2-ton transport.
Wakanda attack.
Okay, even if his jetpack and his little jetpack thingies that he shoots at the truck, even if they were physically able to which apparently they weren't because it took him to do it too.
Ish.
Yeah.
He needed
a jetpack on each forearm.
Hey.
Well, like just him pushing that up. It's very heroic. It's very cool. It's very comic booky.
Sometimes all he needs is a little spot. You just get right up the edge. You know what I'm saying? You get that last rep in there. You get just a little spot.
Like Sam was, you see it in the episode. Sam was physically straining to lift that truck up.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the jetpack. So
And
I was like,
that truck was like at a 82-degree
it was
angle.
like at a tipping point. It was about to fall. He physically can't push his arms to lift that truck up. I'm like, come on, man. This is why I was like,
I don't care about your physics.
like if Walker had somehow kept on, but he was about to lose his grip, and he was going to be pulled over with the car, and then Sam came and did that, then I could see that being justified. But as it stands, Sam has no super strength.
Yeah.
He would not have been able to have held that 2-ton transport.
yeah, but then that would have been.
If I were to rewrite the scene, it was Sam would hold it just long enough for Captain America to come, other Captain America to come help him.
Or
US
Bucky.
agent.
Or Bucky. Yeah.
Or Bucky.
Yeah.
But then that would take away from the heroics of Sam.
Yeah, because that was the big grand I'm Captain America moment for Sam.
Yeah, then make him a super soldier.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Give
saying,
him
bro.
some freaking super strength or something. I know that part of the message is that he's just a normal guy, but at the same time,
Just like you, bro.
At the same time, he's got to be a superhero. So
I kind of liked early.
He got beat up by Paul Rudd. Don't forget.
Early on in this season, you had said something about the serum might be something that wears off that you have to retake. I think it would have been interesting if he had the serum temporarily, and then at the end of the show been like, no, that's not the hero that I want to be. I don't want to rely on super strength.
or if maybe
that
Isaiah
angle.
had showed up and helped him out, dusted off the old superpowers.
Isaiah.
God, you want to shoehorn Isaiah in.
He's one of my favorite characters.
He's a
story
wasted
is so
character.
good.
Yeah, you're right. He's a
Yeah.
wasted character.
He's so awesome.
Yeah.
He's really awesome.
Well, he's old school.
Yeah.
You like it. It's like he's based in reality. Like that guy exists.
Yeah, so
You know what I mean?
Sam saves all the GRC members in the truck. Everyone cheers for the Black Falcon, except for those who somehow know he's now Captain America, even though he hasn't made a public announcement about it, or has there been any news coverage about his new alias.
Is anybody really irritated that they keep trying to shoehorn the Black Falcon thing?
I actually think it's funny.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to make a joke.
Is it a joke?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, nobody has ever called him that in any of the 23 movies
Just
that
Isaiah's punk ass grandson.
like that's never been a thing until this show.
That's
and
a
I
good-
feel like they really shoehorned it in.
Well, the woke themes resonated throughout the entire series.
Yeah.
So it would make sense.
But it just doesn't, it's never even been mentioned before. Like we've never been meant to look at Falcon the way they look at him in this show.
That's also true.
It's
yeah.
like even the first time we get introduced to him with Cap, it's not.
Well,
Who cares if he's
also,
black? Who cares?
Like this is the first time that we've focused on him as the main character. He's always been kind of like a side character.
He's a sidekick, literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the biggest problem I had with this scene is the one guy he's like, oh yay, Black Falcon, and the other guy's, nah man, that's Captain America. It's just like, how do you know?
Because he has the shield.
I got the vibe.
And he's got the Captain America
but
outfit on.
I mean, like they said, they could be Captain Falcon. Like you don't know that.
Ooh,
Sam,
Captain Falcon.
You don't know that Sam has replaced Captain America at this point.
He does say that when he first arrives, but I forget who he said it to.
He says it to Batroc because he's in the building.
Yeah, he says one of the bad guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
nobody was there to see that.
George St.
tweeted something out. Hey guys, Falcon's now
yeah.
Captain America.
Hashtag Black Falcon, hashtag Captain America.
I follow George St. Pierre on Instagram.
Red Wing.
And he's been very quiet about everything the whole time. But I remember he just posted like right before this episode came out. I was like, yo, don't forget to watch the 6th episode.
Yeah, well, Jude, yeah, it's funny. After Red Wing texted the helicopter pilot lady, he went on all the social media and was like, hashtag new Captain America.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Red Wing has been sending out tweets this whole time.
Oh my God.
There's like a whole
Guys,
subplot.
check out the new Captain America. He can fly now.
Yeah.
Can we follow Red Wing on Twitter?
Well,
Is that
Red Wing's
Look
not
right
verified
now.
yet still. He's still waiting for his blue check mark.
blue check mark? This might be.
Oh,
All right,
anyway.
so
Just making thirsty comments all the time.
yeah, Red Wing's following some very suspicious accounts.
He's been sliding into DMs like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, Twitter blocked him for some COVID misinformation that he posted.
Hashtag
But-
MAGA 2024.
Oh yeah.
Good news, you guys. He's
He
on
is
TikTok. So.
Red Wing.
Red Wing.
Red State.
Yep.
Trump 2024.
2024.
He's got, like,
MAGA Wing.
he's got like a banner behind him. He's just flying around.
Sam's like, I'm not associated with Red Wing.
Just MAGA 2.0. And he's just like, God damn it.
Red Wing, what the hell?
Yeah. Sam's like, dude, you gotta chill on that. It's not about you. You're my wingman.
You
I
gotta
can't have that.
Gotta take it down a notch.
Yeah, Red Wing chilling on the social media.
Yeah. I
Disney's gonna fire you.
can't be associated with that.
Just reposting QAnon stuff constantly.
Red Wing's a conspiracy theorist.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
Far right wing, alt right troll.
All right. Yes.
He's fighting against the one world.
Yeah. Just
Always,
trolling.
always talking about the one world government. These Carly's a one world globalist.
Oh man.
Has Alex Jones on his podcast.
Oh. Red Wing is voiced by Alex Jones.
You're gonna turn the drones gay.
1776 will commence.
Those drones were born gay.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
We went way off the rails with that one. Woo! All right, what happens next?
All right, so Sam comes down and uses his shield to knock all the flag smashers around, but before he can stop Carly for good, Batroc shoots some smoke canisters into the area and allows the flag smashers to escape. And apparently they were just smoke canisters, like they weren't tear gas or anything, because like they just let off smoke.
Just ran away.
Yeah. So Sharon and Batroc follow the flag smashers into some underground tunnels with Sam, Bucky, and Walker not far behind. Carly runs into Sharon, who is revealed to be the power broker.
Did anybody get surprised by that?
No.
No, I think I called that way early on. Yeah.
Well, I wanted her to be working with the power broker because I felt like everything else made a little more sense if she was like just trying to figure out what to do while she was exiled. But the fact that she is the power broker, it just, I don't know, it's lame.
Yeah,
Remember when
I had a theory that like the power broker is like the Dread Pirate Roberts, where one person just takes up the
Oh.
moniker after another.
Well, I know we're not there yet, but who's the old man in the car?
Oh, that was Zemo's butler.
Was that who that was?
Yeah,
Oh, weird.
yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Oh.
Continue. What happens next?
All right, so well, I have some questions
Oh, go ahead.
about this revelation. So basically, Carly says that Sharon became the power broker because she wants to control a world that hurt her. But if she was the power broker, why did she send Sam, Bucky, and Zemo to the only scientists that she had that could make the super serum?
Because she wanted Zemo to kill him.
Supply and demand.
Well, she wanted the super soldier serum so she could sell it, right? So
Can't they just make it again?
no,
Not without that
No, because
scientist.
they blew up his whole like lab where all his
and all of
notes
his
were.
research,
All his research is
It wasn't
gone.
in the cloud.
I don't know. Probably.
the Wakandan cloud.
Oh, yeah.
Wakanda tech.
Wakanda
It's
tech.
Wakanda Wi-Fi.
But so
Through Wakanda, all things are possible.
but do you remember like when she was meeting with them, she threw this party and she's like, I'm going to get the information. Then she's like, okay, here's where the scientist is. And then they go and meet the scientist to get the lead on Carly. Wouldn't it have made more sense for her to just call up her scientist, be like, hey, can you give me a lead on Carly? And then give that lead to Sam and Bucky and be like, hey, this is where Carly is going to be next.
But she's playing both sides, bro.
She's been texting Carly this whole time.
But she exposed her most valuable asset.
She has a satellite.
She even said on the phone to Bucky and Sam that the power broker was upset with them because they killed the power broker's golden goose.
Look, this is chess, not checkers, my friend. Gotta play 4 steps ahead. You're playing in the past. She's playing in the future.
I'm with Kadish. That felt very like I wasn't surprised that they made her that character, but then I'm like, well, what was
I'm just doing my best to defend it. All right.
What was the whole point of everything that she did in the past 4 episodes?
Also, this entire series, the power broker's like texting Carly, being like, "I'm coming for you. I'm going to get you. You betrayed me." And the entire time, Sharon is tracking them through with the help of like Sam and Bucky, and she doesn't do anything. Like she knows
her satellite. Don't forget her satellite.
Well, yeah. Well, she knows when Sam and Bucky are going to meet Carly in Germany before Walker kills that guy. So it's like, why didn't she send a team of mercenaries to go get Carly then? Like there's just so much weird stuff.
She's a super spy.
Yeah,
what about that tech?
What's her end game?
Thing face.
To get back into the government so that she can rip off the tech and sell it in the market.
No,
she says it at the end of the episode.
Well, so like she did that with Sam.
They tidied it up real nice. Like, here we go, it's a little ribbon. There you go.
That wasn't her ultimate plan, though. Like she wasn't expecting that to actually happen.
I said, the entire show doesn't make any sense. This episode ties it up.
Also, if she was the power broker and she had a guy making super soldier serum, why didn't she take it herself?
Maybe she did.
No, she didn't.
Maybe she did.
We don't know. She never states otherwise.
Maybe it's like a Thunder Force situation, and she took a different power. You just don't know about it yet.
She got beat up by all those mercenaries she was fighting in the container yard and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She couldn't go toe to toe with any of the flag smashers. She had to use guns. She didn't take the super soldier serum, but why didn't she if she was the one manufacturing it?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
And what was her plan to use Carly and the other flag smashers for? Were they like her muscle?
They were her muscle.
Well, then why didn't she choose people who were loyal to her?
The super soldier serum made them crazy.
No, it didn't.
They were activists, so they became extreme activists.
You think she lost control of them?
Yeah, that's it.
That would have been helpful if they would have said that in the show.
Walker was...
you should have asked Tom.
Walker was a warrior.
It's funny that you don't mention any of this until right now.
Freaking lightning just struck my brain, bro. You act like I think about this shit all the time. I'm on the spot, man. Give me a topic. I'll throw something out.
He's in 2008. You're 2000 and late.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Chestnut checkers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that since high school.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens next?
All right. So Sharon kills Batroc, who shoots her in return.
Maybe.
Carly is about to finish off Sharon when Sam shows up and intervenes while Sam and Carly fight. Bucky and Walker use the Flag Smasher app to trick the other Flag Smashers into an ambush and arrest them.
I mean, there really is an app for everything.
I guarantee it's only in the Apple Store. I'm going to guarantee that.
They took it down.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I just kind of was over it at this point. I'm like,
boo.
I'm like, okay, yeah, Sam got his new uniform. He's the new Cap. That's the only reason why this show exists.
Yeah.
I like that this terrorist organization has their own app, and Bucky and Walker used it to
trick them.
Ensnare them.
That's a good point. That was a good point.
Everybody meet up here.
Yeah.
Like it looked like the Lyft app or the Uber app.
Yeah, right.
Also, it's like Pokemon Go tech, where you're like, oh look, I found the place.
There is no Flag Smasher app.
Come on, Marvel.
Yeah.
Dude, right? Oh man,
Missed opportunity.
Really
Right?
a missed opportunity.
Yeah. So Sam gets his ass kicked by Carly because he refuses to fight her back for some reason.
Yeah.
And Carly picks up a gun and is about to kill Sam when Sharon shoots Carly, killing her.
Because he didn't want to fight her. He understood her. He was trying to.
That was such a weird
He
message.
was trying to
dude.
save her.
Such a weird message.
She was lost.
She just tried to murder like 20 people.
Super soldier serum.
Tech.
Tech. Wakanda.
Captain America would have at least knocked her out.
Steve Rogers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do something.
Oh yeah, but that's Captain America.
Well, Sam is Captain America. at
Sam
this
is
point.
Cap.
Well, he's not Steve Rogers.
No.
Steve Rogers knocks people out.
Captain America Senior.
Falcon makes a
Is
witty
different
comment and flies away.
Than Captain America Junior.
Wow.
Wow.
Go about things in different ways.
Yeah, his whole like idea of like,
Nick at Night, Nick Jr. All very different.
yeah, his whole idea of like, I want to try and save this person.
Yeah.
I felt really weird to me.
He tried to save her the whole time.
He did, but it was like, she's murdering people, bro. She's
Misguided.
literally blowing people up.
He believes in her.
That's
Believes.
Tech.
they needed to do.
Tech.
They needed to do more work with Carly's character to make me buy into that.
Yeah, well, she's
I didn't
dead
give a shit
now.
about. I didn't give a shit about Carly this entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't understand why everyone rallied to her because she wasn't charismatic. She wasn't doing anything that was like really worthy of her being a leader. It was just like the story mandated that we have to feel sympathy for her. Therefore, all the other characters felt sympathy for her. And it
Right.
was
I don't know.
really
Her death was poignant and it was sad when she died.
No, it wasn't.
She said, "I'm sorry," and dies. And it's like,
I feel like you're messing with me right
I'm
now.
dead serious. I really like the episode. There's not a lot about it I don't like. And
Huh.
when she's dying, she's very remorseful. And it's like the super soldier serum is like out of her brain now. And she's like, "I'm sorry," and dies. And it's like
But she had made the decision to kill Sam right before she got shot.
when she was all jacked up.
It didn't matter. Like
It
she
does
was
matter.
talking about killing all the hostages even when she wasn't jacked up.
No, the serum they said it 1,000 times. It amplifies whatever is in you already.
Yeah.
So she's this hardcore activist. She takes the serum. Now she's an extreme activist. But on her deathbed,
Which is all the more reason not to try to reason with her. It's to knock her out, put her in prison, and then rehab her.
yeah, that's also true. But Sam's a nice guy.
He's like, damn, girl. Remember that time when the
How's your
helicopter...
credit? Can you co-sign for me?
Remember that time when the helicopter knocked Sam into the harbor and he comes flying back out and he's like, you just earned yourself an ass whooping, boy.
yeah, that's right. That was a line in this episode.
Yes.
Okay, so just talking about this scene where he's chasing down Carly and stuff with the smoke and all that. I do like that his goggles were like night vision goggles. You could see
Wakanda
through
tech.
the Wakanda tech. It was awesome. That was cool. I
It
like
was,
that.
yeah.
It was very cool. The character motivation is out the window for me at this point. I just don't care.
Yeah,
Like,
well, she's
whatever.
dead, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. All right, Kadish. Last but
All right.
not least, what happens?
So Sam takes Carly's body and flies her to where all the GRC bureaucrats Carly just tried to kill are. And Sam gives a big speech about common struggles that inspires all the media and the bureaucrats to quote unquote do better.
I loved it.
Okay, so somebody, I think
It needed to happen.
Yeah.
This is obviously where this was going this entire season. I'm not going to complain about it.
Okay. I'm going to. So it was like a solid 5-minute
Oh,
speech.
yes.
It was long.
Yeah.
He had a lot to say.
And I have to, I think it was Nerdrotic Gary, I think called him Captain Do Better. And it's stuck in my head now. It's freaking hilarious to me. Captain Do Better. Really funny. But no, for like the speech, I get it. Like I agree with Jude. Like, yeah, they've been leading up to this. So obviously it's going to happen. But there was a moment, like not only, I was kind of like just rolling my eyes the whole time, but I'm like, okay, yeah, we have to get this over with. Go ahead and do your speech. But there was a moment where he tells the senator, he's like, look, this is what you have to do. And the senator looks at him and goes, it's a very complicated situation. If we do this to this person, it's going to affect these other people in a negative way. It's a very complicated set of circumstances. We have to work it out. And he goes, do better. That was his solution to the problem, is just do better. That doesn't answer any questions.
Hey,
That doesn't
Alex,
provide any
Alex.
kind of like moral.
Can you imagine a world where we all did our best? Can you imagine? Imagine that world where literally everyone does their best.
What does that mean?
I mean, no one does anything and everyone sucks. But if we all did our best, we'd all live in a better world.
We're the best at sucking.
Oh, yes, we are.
I'm the best at doing nothing.
Oh, we're lazy. We're
Like,
entitled.
it's
We're
a-
egomaniacs.
It's just a dead end conversation at that point where the senator brings up a reasonable question about Sam's idea of like, okay, this is what we have to do. And the senator goes, okay, how would you do that? And he goes, do better. It's a non-starter. It
Love
doesn't
it.
go anywhere.
Love it.
You know, though, so this speech felt like it was written by someone who doesn't understand how politics works, how reality works.
That's what the
How-
point is.
But what I'm saying is that, you know, Sam's whole point is that we need to know what these people's grievances are in order to not make new enemies in this world. But the problem with this show has always been they've never truly established the landscape that the sandbox that we're playing in. You know what I mean? Like
That's also true.
Like
Yeah.
they haven't talked about like the border issue. Like what
No.
was the border issue? You know, like why are they having to redraw borders? Wouldn't people who belong to a certain country want their country? Like this whole idea that, you know, we should knock down all the borders and be like one world. It wasn't like that during the blip. Like there were still borders, there were still countries.
We don't really know.
We
what
don't
happened
know,
during-
though.
Yeah, they've
We
never
didn't-
really given us that.
Exactly. Because we don't know what's
Yeah.
going on, this entire speech that Sam gives, even though the sentiment behind it is good, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, this is his "We will not go quietly into the night" speech.
No,
We will not go quietly into the night. We will go on.
as we celebrate our independence. It was very much. I get it.
And Randy Quaid just smoking crack in the background.
I get it. Like, I get the idea behind his message, but my problem was there's no, like Katie said, there's no reality to it.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know exactly what they're referring to. My idea, what the show is trying to set up is during the blip, when half the people are gone, pretty much everybody just kind of spread out and did what they needed to do. People who were less fortunate before the blip took over these giant mansions and were like, hey, we have more room now. We have places to live.
This is all headcanon. This is all
Yeah.
us trying
This
to
is
fill
true.
in the gaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because the show was so poorly written, they didn't bother to set up the landscape for any of this stuff.
What they really should have done is made a blip series and done that first.
Yes.
And then we could have done anything
Well,
after that.
instead of going for alone for half the first episode, they should have probably showed us what was going on in the world.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So that we knew going forward,
You put,
Yeah, I would
What
have
was
loved
happening?
like
Who
a
lived?
flashback of what.
yes.
I have a question.
What, can I?
Oh.
Yeah,
finish
go
my
ahead and
sentence?
finish. Yeah.
I would have loved a flashback of like what was going on
Yeah.
during while everybody was snapped away. Like,
Give
what,
us a foundation.
what was going
Yeah,
on?
give us a foundation.
Because according to WandaVision, it wasn't terrible. There wasn't really anything going on.
There
But
was
according
still
to
in New
this,
Jersey.
It was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, why is there such a divide between the continuity of these shows
the
and we
people-
have no information about it? Give it to me.
The people who made WandaVision just wanted to have fun with the characters and have like this crazy sci-fi, like retro sitcom thing.
Also,
and,
WandaVision was supposed to come out after Winter Soldier initially, and
but it still takes place in that time period during the blip, right? Or right after
It's
the blip?
like 2-3 weeks after.
well,
Yeah.
WandaVision was 2-3 weeks after.
Yeah.
We don't know when Falcon and Winter Soldier is in the timeline.
Okay.
We don't?
no,
We don't.
Okay, so
it's after the final fight in Endgame, but that's really all we know.
okay.
Well, so is WandaVision.
Yeah, but we don't really know.
So
the
my
times.
next question, in the very first episode, when we get reintroduced to Sam and he's on his little mission for the U.S. Air Force, do you guys remember he was flying, chasing George St. Pierre, and he said, we have to get him before he crosses this border
Yeah, into Afghanistan.
in Afghanistan? So is there borders now before and now there aren't? Why was there a
yeah,
border?
Yeah, there were always borders, right? Like countries are sovereign. They don't. When they get taken over, that's an act of war.
So this is post blip and they reestablish the borders.
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't have that foundation.
Because that's what Carly is fighting
the
for.
Show,
That is an
the show
interesting
never
point,
told
though.
us.
Carly is fighting for no borders,
right.
and there are borders actively.
She's fighting for a world that she wants that doesn't exist.
Well, the GRC vote was basically to redraw the borders, right? To bring the borders back to what the pre-snap
Yeah,
levels
so
were.
like, did the borders get blipped away?
I don't
Well,
know.
my
In
ad-
7 years, you can do a lot of damage.
Well, when half the population of Earth disappears,
yeah.
and
It's just like a free-for-all.
certain countries like probably can't hold on to certain borders. So it would have been nice to have been told what changed in that time period.
That would be.
But the show never
yeah,
did that.
That's what I mean. Like a series where it actually talks about the blip. You could put Rocket Raccoon in there and some of the other ones. War Machine, and you can make it fun and like what they did during that 7 years.
Thank you for bringing up War Machine because it just clicked in my head. Okay, so Sam's speech about like, I'm the black man carrying the stars and stripes. How do you think I feel? I'm like, okay, so there's no other black soldiers. War Machine wore the Patriot armor.
That's true.
Like, are we saying that?
And he was a big deal. War Machine was a big deal.
Yeah, he was a very big deal.
Yeah, he was a big
he's an
deal.
Avenger.
Yeah, he's a
he's
big
just
deal.
as much of an Avenger as Sam.
Yeah.
And
He fought Ultron.
And he's actively part of the military, and so is Sam. So I just don't understand this whole message of like,
Yeah.
how do you think I feel being the guy that carries the stars and stripes? I'm like, there's other people who are African American who wear the stars and stripes that don't feel the same way you do. It's very weird.
It's woke.
Yeah,
Just remember.
I hate that word, but
yeah.
I'm just kind of like, ugh, like why?
I will say that like I appreciated the meaning behind the speech.
Yeah.
Like I saw what they were trying to do, and I was like, I feel like this is a good message. I just wish it had been more prevalent throughout the rest of the series.
Yes.
So like I did like that. But getting back to the show, the surviving flag smashers who were arrested are being loaded into a police transport. But before they get very far, the transport blows up, killing the last of the new super soldiers. We see Zemo's butler was the one who caused the explosion. And then we cut to Zemo on the raft listening to a report about the flag smashers on the radio being killed. And he smiles. So my question is, why was Zemo in a German prison and not on the raft to begin with?
He was on the raft, wasn't he?
No.
I thought that was the raft.
They cut to the raft.
No, yeah,
no,
in this episode.
in the show, but I mean, like when they initially broke him out, he was in
Oh.
prison in Germany.
Oh,
So like, why
Yeah.
wasn't he already on the raft?
I don't know.
Because
he doesn't have
Wakanda didn't
powers?
have him. You remember in Civil War?
But I mean, the raft is run by, whatever shield organization is out there. General, what's his name from the Hulk series?
Yeah.
Is the guy in charge of it.
Oh, what's his name?
I can't remember.
Thunderbolt something.
Yeah, Ross.
Thunderbolt
Yeah,
Ross.
Thunderbolt
General
Ross.
Ross. So like, I thought at the end of Civil War that they put him in the raft. And then, but all of a sudden in this show, he's at some weird German prison that's super easy to break out of.
Well, I guess
Well-
I just assumed that only people with powers go to the raft, and that's why they didn't originally send him there.
Could be a
Sam
good
Sam
point.
got sent to the raft in at the
That's-
end of Civil War.
So did Hawkeye.
So did
That's a good
Hawkeye.
one.
Yeah.
No, my idea, I think, and this is total headcanon, but like when at the end of
I like that phrase, headcanon.
headcanon. At
I
the
like
end
that.
of Civil War, he gets taken, like Black Panther catches him and he gets taken. And then at the end of that, like a post-credit scene, you see, who's the guy who plays Bilbo Baggins, the actor? Martin Freeman.
Mhm.
He has Nemo in a cage and he's like talking smack to him. And he's like, how does it feel to fail? And Nemo's like, did I? Like,
Yeah.
it was like one of those moments, right? A wink and a nod. So like apparently Martin Freeman, after being done with Zemo, just put him into whatever random prison. And it wasn't until this series where they were like, you know what? This dude's a pretty big deal.
Well,
Like he may be a
would have been
super villain.
it would have also been interesting if we had gotten a sense of what happened to Zemo during the snap. Like, was he snapped,
Yeah, did he blip?
or was
Yeah,
he
that's a good
was he
point, too.
there all 5 years? And because of the lack of population, he was able to use that to his advantage to get in a position where he could escape.
Kadish, they only had 6 episodes.
I mean,
That's
you
the
could
crazy thing.
you
They
could
had
easily cut out Sam's sister's subplot.
I was
and,
just
like,
going to
add in
say,
some of
they
that
had
God.
stuff.
6 episodes, and this was my complaint, I think, last week, was that they had 6 episodes, and they knew that from the beginning.
Yeah.
And what they put into it was a scene where they're making food boxes
They spent-
for something that they never tell you what it's for, and then they go to the bank, and then they fix a
They
boat
spent
for
40,
an entire
40 minutes
episode.
fixing a boat.
So
Like, you didn't set up this entire world that we're all supposed to get on board with.
Yeah, that's true.
in this entire 6
And now
episodes,
it's over. Thank fucking God.
in this entire 6 episodes, they spent 2.5 episodes in Louisiana fixing stuff and going to the bank
Yeah.
And-
instead of building up the
and
world.
meeting the neighbors and,
and
having
meeting
a,
the
having a
neighbors.
potluck.
Hey, man, we're going to fix the boat. You want to come over? My sister's making jambalaya.
Man, is this Black Falcon?
No, man.
No, man.
Captain
Sam who?
America.
Sam from down the way.
Oh, man. You mean the Avenger? All right. Is that the end of the episode?
No, it's not
Okay.
the end of it. But I also want to point out that like Zemo's butler is the guy who
Yes,
you know,
very interesting, right?
But the thing is like unless you were paying attention like 4 episodes ago,
Yeah, I know.
like for instance, Tom didn't even realize that's who it was.
Yeah.
When he was
I
watching the
didn't.
show.
No, I said, who's this old man? We have a new villain on our hands.
No.
Just some old man.
It's
Working-
Zemo.
It's
Jeeves.
Zemo. Yeah.
Yeah. So is Zemo the power broker?
So so Sharon's working for Zemo.
Yeah. Kind
Yeah.
of.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Oh yeah,
If Zemo is the one
Zemo's-
who's ordering his butler to go blow stuff up
yeah.
and what-
Zemo's a shot caller from prison.
yeah.
I saw that movie. Shot caller.
That was a great movie.
Great movie.
Dude, that movie is awesome.
That movie is awesome.
Dude, it's got freaking Jamie Lannister and Jeffrey Donovan is in that movie
Yeah.
as like a freaking neo-Nazi.
Yeah, that movie's amazing.
Oh, dude, Jeffrey Donovan
Rein
is
it in, guys.
my favorite actor.
Great movie.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was
Go
really-
watch that.
really good movie, yeah.
Really good. Anyway.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it would have been nice if they had refreshed our memory about Zemo's butler before we saw him
That's
at the end of the
also
episode.
true. Yeah. I mean, we could have used an extra hour in this episode to make to tie up
Or,
everything.
or less boat fixing in the previous episode.
Or like,
Yeah.
you know,
All right.
if we had treated this like we treated WandaVision, we would have watched each
Oh.
episode 3 or 4 times.
God, WandaVision was
and then
good.
we would remember.
Yeah. Okay, so let's polish this off. We're at an hour already.
All right, so back in DC, Julia Louise-Dreyfus, aka Val, gives Walker a new costume and a new name. He is now U.S. agent and working for Madam Hydra.
Yay.
Hey, wait, Hydra?
That's the character that Julia Louise-Dreyfus plays, Madam Hydra.
Interesting. I didn't look that up. Okay.
Yeah, from the comics.
Sure.
It was fine. Got a
Yeah.
black outfit with American flag on it. Cool.
Well, that's what he's supposed to look
Yeah,
like.
he's supposed to look like a U.S. agent. It's fine.
Yeah, he gets a shield, like a shield.
Yeah.
Not a round one, but He'll be recurring.
Sure, yeah. I'm looking. I hope like the Russo brothers come back.
There's not a season 2.
No, but I hope.
No, but his character will be back.
Can you imagine if the
Julie Louis-Dreyfus will be back?
The Russo brothers came back and wrote a new movie for Falcon and U.S. Agent and Bucky, and it was like in the vein of like Winter Soldier and Civil War.
It might actually be good.
It might actually be
Winter
good.
Soldier was so good.
God, great movie.
I've seen it so many times.
Okay,
they got Robert Redford. To do that
I would
movie.
just like to see like a Bucky movie in the vein of Extraction. That's what it was.
Yeah, Extraction.
Oh,
It's a great movie.
Yeah,
Imagine that with Bucky.
Yeah, but it's Bucky this time?
with Winter Soldier
Oh.
would have been amazing.
Woo! I mean,
that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Jude just got hot. We all got chubbies, and Jude's like,
I just went from 6 to midnight. You know what I mean?
forgetting Sarah Marshall callback.
Yeah. All right, so Bucky goes to see Yori and confesses to him that he was the one who killed his son, finally giving him some closure. And Bucky leaves his book with his shrink. All the names of the people he needed to make amends with are now crossed off. Although, isn't he still under the terms of his pardon supposed to keep seeing his shrink?
Tech. Look, I'm pissed
Wakanda.
off. This scene pissed me off. Really pissed me off.
He's fine now. He's fixed. He's
Because,
healed. Move on.
Like, I'm kind of into Bucky's character arc in this show.
Mhm.
Like, I really like his redemption about trying to like put the Winter Soldier in the past, and the character that he was hanging out with, the old man that he was hanging out with at the beginning of the season. We were all like, oh man, I can't wait to see that moment where he actually tells him what he really did, and you know they can heal and bond, and I want to know what he does. And they freaking just end it.
There's only 6 episodes, Alex.
We don't even see the reaction from the old man.
He was crying.
It was nothing. We got nothing out of that.
Eating edamame the next day.
That was a terrible
Doing
setup.
sake bombs.
He's doing sake bombs.
With that hot waitress.
Yeah, there it is.
There we go. Product placement.
You know, the waitress that Bucky just like up and left.
Yeah. And never talked
During
to
their
again.
date.
She's like, I get off in like 5 minutes. He's like,
Nah.
I already got off.
He can never have sushi there again.
No.
I'm like, that was a terrible setup and
I
payoff.
liked it.
It was terrible. I wanted to see that conversation, man.
It should have been a lot more emotionally poignant than it was.
Can we get the Snyder cut of this whole show?
God, no.
I want the Snyder cut. I want the 33-hour version of this series.
I want to see what they did with that virus subplot.
Did they even film it?
I have no idea.
I think they did, and they had to like cut around it for most of the part, and then they went back and did some reshoots.
I'm actually curious about that, what that would have looked like.
Yeah. So in the next scene, Sam goes
Like a
to visit.
storyline that made sense.
Stop cutting him off.
Sorry.
Sam goes to visit Isaiah and takes him to a new installation in the Captain America Museum that finally gives Isaiah the recognition for the service that he gave the country. I thought this was the best scene of the series.
Yep. Great. Fantastic. Loved it. I love that they took him back. And right next to Captain America is Isaiah with his whole story. Everybody gets to know who he was. I dig it.
Dig it.
Awesome.
Yeah. And the emotion that Isaiah shows in that moment, it was just so heartbreaking.
That was the healing that we
It was
had.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was real. I mean, it felt real.
I mean, that's the type of thing that makes Sam a hero in my book.
Yeah.
And like really gives him the, like it makes him the worthy successor to Steve because he was able to do that type of stuff. And we all loved Isaiah so much that to have that be the closure of his arc was just so poignant. And
It was beautiful.
Yeah. I wish that they had given other characters the same kind of care with their storylines because that was it was my favorite scene in the entire series.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was great. And I'm really sold on if they ever wanted to do like a prequel and have Isaiah back in the 50s.
That'd be
Oh,
fun.
so cool.
So awesome.
In Nam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm down, man.
Punching a wall once he's in prison, just over and over
Oh,
again. Knuckles bloody,
He has to fight
going
Ho Chi-
out of his
He has
mind.
to fight Ho Chi Man. Like, not Ho Chi Man, it's Ho Chi Man. He's a villain.
I'd want to see that showdown with Bucky and Hanoi.
Yes.
Oh,
Where he
yeah.
rips off the arm.
Where there's like one episode during the series where Bucky shows up, Sebastian Stan is in the show, and he shows up and he just fights off Isaiah, and Isaiah kicks his ass. That would have been great.
It would have been really cool.
I hope they do that. If it's on their books or somewhere on a whiteboard somewhere in Disney, put that movie out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
that
watch
does
it.
sound good.
All right, so Sam and Bucky meet in New Orleans for a good old-fashioned seafood bake and live happily ever
This
after.
was weird. I don't understand why this was in the final episode. It was like everything's done. We've got closure on everything. And now we're just going to watch people eat.
It's happy.
Yeah.
Fine.
Falcon went home.
They went and got euros at the end of the first Avengers movie. It was hilarious.
No, shawarma.
Shawarma.
That's the same thing.
Not even.
What? Shawarma and a euro is the same thing.
A euro is lamb.
Doner kebab, same thing. They're all same thing.
It's a Greek soft sandwich. Anyway,
This was not the Avengers. This was not even close.
anyway, I didn't mind it. I mean, by this point, I was pretty checked out, but it didn't bother me that much.
I was just glad it was ending. And then in
Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. I was probably just like, God damn it, is it not over yet?
We need 2 more minutes of this shit.
In a post-credit scene, the U.S. government issues a pardon to Sharon Carter and reinstates her back into S.H.I.E.L.D. However, she's now evil and planning to use her new government position to advance her business as the power broker.
So Captain America's granddaughter is evil?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess.
All right, so guys, overall, what were your impressions of the series Falcon and Winter Soldier? Alex?
It had so much potential. I was really in on Sam. I love Bucky. I was really looking for like a Lethal Weapon vibe from this show, and I didn't get that at all. Like Riggs and Murtaugh,
Sure.
Bucky and Sam. Like that's what I was going into this show looking for. It's not that. I think there was a lot of wasted potential because there's a lot of storylines within this show that I'm like really interested in, and they filled the gaps with like fixing boats and stuff. And I was just like, I wanted to like this show so much. I really did. I know people are going to complain on YouTube like, oh, you guys are just shitting on the show. Like I wanted to like it. There's just so much waste, and I didn't really care about half the characters. A lot of the development was kind of shoehorned in. On a whole, I'd give it like a 2 out of 5, maybe 2.5 for the fight scenes. 2.5 out of 5 for me on a whole, as opposed to WandaVision. I don't remember what I gave that. I think it's probably like a 3 or 4. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Tom, what about you, buddy? What did you give us on a whole?
The whole show is kind of a mess. It's disjointed. It's got political elements that I never, when I feel like it's getting crammed down my throat, I don't appreciate it. You know, if it's a sugar pill, it's easier to swallow, right? And they're just like fisting this thing down my throat. But the last episode's super redeeming for me. I liked how Sam closed out and who he's going to be going forward. I liked how US Agent kind of got some redemption. He's still kind of a clown, and now there's memes going around about how he's such a good actor that you hate him. And I'm thinking, no, Steve Rogers was so amazing that we hate him. But 3 out of 5. I mean, the last episode makes it okay for me, but the whole thing's rough to watch. You could just watch that last episode and get the whole thing.
Wow. Okay. Jude?
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. You mean I could have just watched the last episode? Fuck. I hated this. I hated it. I'm upset.
What was your text to me? You would.
I forgot I said that. God, I don't even know how to rate this. I never go into something being like, I'm going to hate this, therefore I hate this. I didn't expect that I would like it because, I really like Bucky, but I've never really been invested in like who Falcon is and who Zemo is and like all of these other villains and stuff. So I didn't really expect that I would like it or that I would be into it. But I was hoping that I would at least enjoy the experience of watching it, even though these aren't my favorite characters. But just as it went on, each episode was harder for me to get through, and the writing was just so bad, and it had so much potential to be good, and they had like these awesome characters that they introduced, like Isaiah, and they just kind of dropped it, and they picked it up in the last episode, which is fine, but like they spent so much time doing shit that didn't matter, you don't care about, and like Tom said, like they didn't sugar pill anything, they shoved a goddamn horse pill down everyone's throat, and who's gonna say thank you after that? So I don't know, I'll give it I hated it so much.
You almost said 1. I heard that.
Yeah.
I almost said 1.5, but I think I'm going with 1.
1 star
It's
crap
a
fest?
1-star crap fest for me. I really
Wow.
hated it. I hated it.
really
I
did?
hated it.
Damn.
Jeez.
Kadish, how about you, buddy?
I'm going to agree with my lady, 1-star crap fest,
Aw.
but for different reasons. So Tom is absolutely right. Like when shows get preachy about their messaging and their politics, I don't like it. That's not necessarily what bugged me about this show, even though like sometimes it did get a little bit overwhelming. My biggest issue with this series was just the bad writing, the bad planning, the bad plotting, the plot contrivances, the stuff that could have easily been cut out and replaced with more interesting things, the lack of forethought, the plot contrivances, like the one lady who knows how to fly a helicopter is on the helicopter, like that type of thing. Like there were good elements to the show, but the good elements were so few and far in between that like the bad elements just outweighed them constantly. And now that we finished the series and we know, who everyone is and what everyone did, looking back on it, you just question like, why did they act this way in episode 2 as opposed to like who they really were in episode 5? Why didn't they bring in Julia Louis-Dreyfus earlier? Why didn't they, have make Zemo have more agency? Instead, we just get him dancing.
Like honestly, I did not hate the dancing.
No, the dancing was one of the best parts.
Honestly,
of the show.
it seems like they started writing this show not knowing where they were going with it.
Yeah.
But that they only had 6 episodes, and so they just started writing it from episode 1. And then they were like, hurry up. This is the last episode. We got to tie everything up by the time they got to episode 6. And they didn't go back and like rewrite anything.
But I mean, like there's so much that they could have done to establish the post-blip world going into phase 4 of Marvel. There's so much they could have done with like Batroc and Zemo and all these interesting like new characters that they like Isaiah, when we did our episode rewriting the show, we came up with some great ideas that they could have used Isaiah.
Yeah, they
with.
could have done a lot more.
Like they could have done some flashbacks, to see like Bucky, as Winter Soldier fighting Isaiah.
That would have been really good.
Really cool.
We could have gotten more of a redemption arc with Bucky. Like there's so much stuff that they could have done with this show than they just didn't. And it was announced that Malcolm Spellman, the head writer and creator of the show, is going to be in charge of the new Captain America movies going forward.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm not like the Captain America movies were always the best ones in the MCU, in my opinion. And
it's the
now
Russo brothers.
Yeah. Now that this guy's in charge of them, I'm having a feeling that they're not going to be as good. And I'm very disappointed in that.
So is it safe to say that if we took this and condensed it down to a 2.5-hour movie, it would have been enjoyable?
No.
No, I think it had potential to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
we take out all the dumb crap. We take out all the pointless shit.
Let's take out Carly completely and make Walker our main antagonist.
Or Zemo.
Or Zemo. Yeah.
The thing I didn't like, Carly, they constantly were trying to remind you that you're supposed to be sympathetic towards her and her cause, but then at the same
she
time,
never did anything sympathetic.
She didn't do anything that was.
Well, I have a theory on that. It's she's Mickey Mouse Club. She's they're shoehorning her in all these Disney projects now, and they're like, we're just gonna put her in
actress.
stuff. Yeah, we're gonna put her in stuff.
Okay.
Huh,
and so you're just gonna get her, and I'm guessing that there's gonna be some other property we're gonna see her in.
She's dead
in the comics.
No, I mean some other property.
Oh, okay.
We'll see her
She's
again.
the new Miley Cyrus?
Yes.
She's going to come out with an album.
Good for her.
Hannah, Florida.
In the comics, her character was a man. It was named Carl, and they gender swapped it for the show for some reason.
Yeah,
because they wanted that actress to be in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Disney's gonna shoehorn in her at least one more thing.
The character herself, like there's a lot you could do with that. That's fine. Robin Hood, whatever. But the problem I had is like they constantly were like, "Hey, be sympathetic. She's not that bad of a person." But then they had her do some pretty nasty shit the whole time, and you're like, "Why am I supposed to feel bad for her?"
She was unfeeling about doing it too. She wasn't like, I know it hurts or it's wrong or I feel things about it, but it's something we have to do in order to get to our cause.
The ends
None of
justify
that.
the means. Yeah.
None of that. She was just like, fuck them.
But
they don't matter.
And it was never really clear what exactly they were fighting for. They kept talking about their message and how people were supporting them and their cause, but they never made it super clear beyond that they just wanted stuff to go back to how it was before the blip happened.
Yeah, but that's an unreasonable thing, knowing that half the population is back now.
And also rude. Things were better when you were dead.
Here's the scenario, right? Is these people disappear from the blip and these other people move into their, let's just say a house. They move into their house. And then when these people get blipped back, they're like, hey, there's people in our house. Who has the right to the house? That's what the blip is basically saying. That's what Carly's fighting for. Like, my family had a lot more when everybody else was gone. I want to fight for them to have it back, or to at least be better off than they are now. It's a very complicated situation. It's not just like a black and white situation.
Yeah, and I also feel like it would have been interesting if instead of them being like no borders, they would have been like Thanos worshippers, where they were like Thanos had the right idea.
dark.
We have to get rid of, we have to cull half the population.
like Thanos cult on Earth.
Yes.
Oh, that would be cool.
Thanos was right. You know how many times I've said that?
Oh, that would be cooler.
Yeah, because there would have been like a whole faction of people who liked having all the resources and less people, like the hardcore environmentals and stuff.
Like Dwight Schrute's in there going, he was right the whole time.
Damn it, Matt! Quit having good ideas. That's the thing.
They're all wearing gold gloves.
Oh.
Like Michael Jackson fighting people.
Oh, jeez.
Instead of high-fiving, they all snap at each other.
That's how they greet each other. They just snap.
They're like the Jets from West Side Story.
Starts with the Jets. It's like, when you're with Thanos all the way.
All right, guys. That's our review for Falcon and Winter Soldier, the show as a whole and the season finale. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us every week. Moving forward, we're also going to be doing The Nevers on HBO. And then when Loki starts up, we'll probably be talking about that too. So like, subscribe, comment. What did you think about this show? Are you looking forward to the new Sam Captain America movies that are coming up with the same writer? Let us know in the comments. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Tom, where can they find you on the socials?
If you really want to look me up, I'm on Instagram at BigT2681. I'm not too active, but come give me a poke or whatever they got on there these days.
Jude, where can they find you at?
Boop. You can find me at I am Juju on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Right on. Matthew Kadish.
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter, and kadishbooks.com takes you to my Amazon page.
And I am the Salty Nerd. You can catch me on Twitter at salty_nerd. And as always, stay salty, my friends.